This story begins deep in the remote forests of West Virginia. On a deserted mountain road, a couple named Rich and Hallie are seen climbing upward. Rich reaches the top and notices a dirty stream flowing in front of him. After patting himself on the back for making it, he calls out to Hallie to hurry up. As Hallie climbs, her foot slips, but she quickly regains her balance and continues upward. She calls out to Rich for help, but gets worried when she can't see him. Suddenly, she's shocked as drops of blood land on her face. She looks up and sees Rich. He's been thrown down by someone. Before she can make sense of what's happening, someone starts pulling her up with force. She manages to free herself by cutting the rope, but as she loses her grip, she falls to the ground, right next to Rich's dead body. Overwhelmed, she breaks into tears. Just then, eerie voices echo from the mountains. Terrified, she runs back to her car to save herself, but her foot gets tangled in barbed wire and she falls. That's when the killer grabs her and drags her away. Now we learn that a series of robberies have been happening in this area. News reports say cars have been stolen one after another. Some even claim to have witnessed witchcraft in the region. We then see another car passing through. Inside is Chris, who's headed to another city for a job interview. On his way, he gets stuck in a traffic jam. Time passes, and when the traffic doesn't move, he realizes he's running late. He gets out of his car and walks to the front where a truck is stopped. He asks the truck driver what's going on. The driver tells him that about 5 miles ahead, a chemical truck has overturned. So, they have to spend several hours there. When he hears this, he rushes to his car, visibly worried. Stuck in traffic, he decides to turn the car around. He tries to inform the company that he'll be late, but the call doesn't go through because he's in a mountainous area. While searching for a phone signal, he notices a gas station sign and drives toward it. Along the way, he passes several abandoned cars. Eventually, he reaches the gas station, where he meets the owner, a man who appears to be unwell. Now he gets out of the car to try calling the company again, but the phone is dead. He then asks the gas station owner about an alternate route to the city, but the man ignores him. Suddenly, he notices a map pinned nearby and spots a rough road that leads to the city. He asks the owner about this route, and the man suggests he take it. So, he sets off on that path, which leads him through dense forest and eventually to a crossroads. There, he sees a sign for a shortcut. Thinking it might save time, he takes the rough road. But then, he comes across a dead deer, and in trying to avoid it, he crashes into the car in front of him. It's a serious accident, but Chris survives. The people from the other car come over to check on him and ask if he's okay. Regaining his composure, he apologizes and offers to pay for the damage he caused. He also asks them why their car had stopped in the middle of the road. Francine explains that someone had laid barbed wire across the road, which punctured their tire. One of their friends suggests going back to the previous gas station to make a call, but Chris strictly forbids it. Everyone decides to split up, but Evan and Francine stay behind to take care of the cars. On the way, they come across a dead mongoose, torn open as if someone had thrown it. As they walk further, they spot burning car tires in the distance, a clear sign of danger. Still, they decide to keep moving. Meanwhile, Francine and Evan notice something moving in the nearby bushes. At that point, Evan goes to check it out, but Francine starts getting worried when he doesn't return. She heads off to look for him. While searching, she finds Evan's shoe, and as she gets closer, she sees his severed ear nearby. Horrified, she begins to cry. Suddenly, someone grabs her and kills her. We then see the remaining group members at the end of the road. All 4 head out in search of help. As they walk, they discover a house and approach it, hoping someone is inside. Chris grows uneasy when he notices the large number of parked cars. He knocks on the door to ask for help. They soon realize that no one is home. They go inside to try to make a call and find a dining table covered in dust, clearly untouched for a long time. Elsewhere in the house, they discover sunglasses and car keys. When they open the refrigerator, they're shocked to find severed human limbs inside. Jesse notices the same barbed wire that had shredded their car tire earlier. The 4 of them try to escape, and just then, Chris looks out the window and sees a vehicle approaching. All 4 of them run to the back door, but when they find it locked, they're terrified. Meanwhile, we see the killer enter the room and casually toss Francine's dead body inside. Chris and Jesse are horrified as they see her corpse. Then, we see the three cannibals placing Francine's body on the table for the first time. They begin cutting her up with sharp tools. As Jesse is about to scream at the sight of the gruesome scene, Scott quickly covers her mouth. After a while, the cannibals fall into a deep sleep after eating parts of the body. Seeing an opportunity, the group tries to sneak out quietly, but just then, one of the cannibals notices them. The group bolts toward the back to escape. Almost immediately, the cannibals arrive and start searching for them. Chris tries to steal one of their vehicles, yelling to create a distraction, but one of the cannibals shoots him, and he falls to the ground, injured. The others are stunned. Then we see Scott running into the forest. As he spots a truck and heads toward it, an arrow suddenly pierces him. The other three manage to escape with their lives. In the distance, they find their truck stuck in the mud and are forced to abandon it. They make their way through the forest until they finally reach the road. As day turns to evening, the cannibals set out to hunt them down. Meanwhile, the three survivors take a break to rest. That's when Carly tells them to look up. When they turn and look, they spot a watchtower in front of them. They're relieved, and we see all three of them start climbing up, but they're disheartened when they find no one there. Jesse finds a first aid kit and uses it to treat Chris's injuries. Meanwhile, Carly discovers an old radio. She turns it on and calls for help, but there's no response. Chris hears some noises coming from downstairs. When he looks, he sees the three cannibals walking below. The cannibals begin climbing up the tower. Seeing them, Chris quickly piles all their belongings at the entrance to block it. After a while, he notices that the cannibals have left. Carly then starts broadcasting their location over the radio. Suddenly, the cannibals cut the radio wires and set the tower on fire. Surrounded by flames, Carly grabs the box placed nearby and smashes a window to escape. Chris sees a tree below the tower, and all three of them jump onto it to save themselves. The cannibals spot them and start climbing the tree to catch them. As the three try to move from one tree to another, one of the cannibals gets close to Carly. Seizing the moment, the cannibal slices her in half in a brutal attack. Chris manages to steady himself and stands up, just in time to hear the sound of a vehicle. He sees a police van approaching. He runs to stop it, but just as the officer steps out to help, an arrow strikes him in the eye. One of the cannibals appears, ready to kill Chris, but Chris quickly hides under the car. The cannibal bends down to look for him, but is shocked to find no one there. We then see a house where the cannibals have Jesse locked up. As the one-eyed cannibal is about to kill Jesse, he hears the sound of an approaching vehicle outside. Curious, he moves toward the door. At that moment, Chris slams into and crushes the man sitting in the car. He gets out and kills the last cannibal attacking him with a sharp arrow. Chris then frees Jesse, saving her. But just then, another cannibal attacks him. Jesse grabs an arrow and kills the attacker while watching Chris collapse, possibly dying. Now, both of them prepare to leave. Chris suddenly shifts his focus to the fuel box on the police vehicle. The house is destroyed in a massive explosion. We then see a road where they arrive at a gas station in a truck. The station owner sees the truck approaching and nervously locks his door. Chris gets out, tears the map off the truck, and walks away. With this, the story ends here. Subscribe to this channel for more slasher stories like this.